I sell coaching to Christians who want to be authors, speakers, and coaches. We're at 4 million.
Sweet.
We'd like to be at 12 million.
Sweet.
What's stopping me is kind of two things. One is we've been making this pivot to offering a degree program, wanting to kind of category shift from the coaching space to the higher education space.
So you're going to get accredited?
We have a partner that's accredited, so we are able to offer an accredited 2-year degree program, and we've got a pretty good setup with them money-wise. So, we're having a problem making that category shift, selling a new product at the same time of like our old product would have been like an $8,000 a year coaching program, LTV to CAC on that used to be 10x, now it's closer to 2x. So we just, our whole funnel is not working like it used to.
Okay.
So we've shrunk.
2 problems.
So what's that?
It sounds like 2 issues.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of in between like, do I double down on, the coaching model and how we've sold coaching and just, apply the internet marketing stuff at a, greater velocity?
Sure.
Or do I go all in on this education model because I think it's a better upside?
Do you own the other entity? So
No.
you said you have a partner. How does that work?
Yeah. So we have a master services agreement with them. So we're providing a whole list of services, marketing, branding.
To sell their product, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically, it's like a JV. Like you market and sell it, they deliver it, and you get a split on the revenue.
Yes.
Is it a new entity?
No, they've been around for
So it's just
30
no,
years.
so like your existing codes can stay the same. There isn't a third code that got created that like you each own half of.
Correct.
No,
The first one.
So
Yeah,
just 2 separate codes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So basically, it's a master service. So basically, it's like a master affiliate agreement.
Yeah. It's just
Right.
a partnership agreement. Two different entities.
Well, have you done any marketing and sales for that thing before?
Yeah, we've sold it. We've been selling it all year.
What's the LTV to CAC on that?
What's the what?
What's LTV to CAC on that?
CAC is around 3,000 to 4,000.
Okay.
And LTV's 10 to 12,000.
Okay. And then what's your split on the 12?
80%. We get 80%.
Okay, so you make the majority of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have your old model, your old product has a 2-to-1 LTV to CAC, and your new one has a 3-to-1 LTV to CAC.
Yeah, we've been selling it really in like the same exact way. We've just kind of repackaged like a coaching program into a degree program. So we're selling it the same way to the same people.
Yeah.
I feel like just the problem is that we've gone from a 10-to-1 LTV to CAC to now a like 2 to 4 LTV to CAC, just because the marketing funnel's not working the same.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 components. So this is like a very classic problem. So I'm sure like more than just you is dealing with this in the room. And so, so basically it's like there's an order of magnitude problem on the back, which is the cost to acquire customers going up. And so the only apparent solution is to decrease cost per customer or sell something different, right? But most of the times it's like you just have to solve a big hairy problem that's in front of you, which is like I need to fix this, right? Like fundamentally, like are there people who want the education that you have?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the market's probably bigger than $4 million a year.
Yes.
Right. And so it's like, okay, so we have a marketing problem on the front end, which is probably a creative issue, and whatever the word of mouth is about the product. And so typically, if your cost to acquire a customer raises faster than CPMs do, then it means that you are basically you're trying to outpace negative or neutral word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And so that's obviously a big compounding problem. Just like you can have viral word of mouth in a good way, no one seems to think that you can have viral word of mouth in a bad way, except the ratio of bad word of mouth to good word of mouth is like 15 to 1, and no one wants to talk about having bad word of mouth go viral. And it's much more sensitive. And so this, by the way, is the reason why many people in the coaching, this isn't me decrying you, but this is why many people in the coaching space basically have to keep launching new offers, is because their first thing was never that good. And so they have to keep coming up with new things over and over again. Be like, this time it's different. And so, okay, so if I'm you, basically you can spend the amount that you're spending right now to get customers, because $3,000 or $4,000 is actually fairly like benchmark in terms of CAC. If you had 1/5 that price before and you were acquiring customers at like $800 or $900, I would say that you had probably a moment where media was mispriced or whatever arbitrage opportunity. You had some new method of acquiring customers. I'm guessing is that
resonates.
Right.
Yeah, like 2020 to 2022. Yeah, we got $800 CAC for sure. Now it's the same thing, but $4,000 CAC.
Right. And so the market kept, like, basically the market caught up. The method that you had isn't as novel as it once was in terms of acquiring customers.
Yep.
And so the arms race of business is LTV, not CAC. And I think this is what most people mess up. Is like CAC across industries typically is fairly comparable. Like I look at so many different businesses in the same space, and it's like you saying 3,000 to 4,000, I'm like, that sounds about right. That's not really off.
Yeah.
The issue is LTV's off.
Yeah.
Like LTV needs to be closer to like 20 or 30K,
Yeah.
and then all of this works just fine. So then the question is, okay, you sell this thing that's $12,000. How can we get 50% of those people to buy a $30,000 thing? And then that 15 rolls into the 12, and now you're at 27, and it all works. And so this is why I say, like, I tend to fix businesses back to front rather than front to back. It's very difficult to have a business rely exclusively on having arbitrarily low CAC relative to market. It's much easier to have a very sustainable business because by building a better mousetrap so that you can always outspend your competition independent of how new the media platform that you're advertising on is. And then when something new opens up, you just print money, and then once it stabilizes, because all the small dogs who didn't have a back end and didn't have higher LTV, they get priced out, which is kind of the issue that you're dealing with right now. Because people are still selling to your market, right?
Yeah.
There are other businesses that sell to your market.
Yeah, a ton.
Right, so it's like the fact that they can still breathe right now should bother you. And so it's like, okay, well, how can they breathe and I can't? So either they're better at advertising or they have bigger LTV. It's one of the two. It might be a combination. But I think if I were you, I would solve back to front in terms of how do I get, now you probably have more control over your own product than the other person's, the JV thing they were talking about.
Yeah, we've got a lot of control.
You have more control there.
Yeah,
right?
we've got a ton of control.
And so the second version you had was like, you're getting 2.5 to 1 or 3 to 1, and your current one's doing 2 to 1. So I would give up a 3 to 1 where I don't have the control to have 2 to 1 where I do, because you can instantly double that, triple that, just because you can add a back end. And so I would probably go back to front, build the back end, and then I would look at what the other people in the space right now are doing in terms of what methods they're using, because that stuff changes all the time.
Yeah.
What methods they're using to get lower costs.
Yeah. So prioritize doubling LTV rather than cutting CAC in half.
Yeah.
Okay.
The LTV is the sustainable competitive advantage. CAC is ephemeral.
Okay. Cool.
Make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
That help?
Yeah, love
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
If you are a business owner and you are not growing as fast as you'd like, I'd like to give you a free gift. So my team and I put together the $100 million scaling roadmap, which is basically 200 hours of us looking over all the portfolio companies we've had and what stages of growth they went through, and more importantly, where they got stuck and how they got past it. And so we broke it into these 10 stages, and we made this little kind of quiz thing where if you put in your business information, it'll tell you where you're at, and the most important part for you, what to do for each of the functions of the business across product, marketing, sales, customer success, recruiting, IT, human resources, and finance. And so no matter what you're struggling with, someone else has already struggled with it and solved it. And so I'd like to give you this thing absolutely free. You can go to acquisition.com/roadmap, plug in your business information. And if you want us to actually help you deconstrain the business and you're trying to scale, we'd love to help you out. On the thank you page, you can just book a call with my team, and we will look at the business, see if we can help. And if we can, we'll invite you out to Vegas, and we'll do this in person live.